Hello, and welcome back to A Real Horror Show. And boy, have I got a video for you guys. As in this absolutely humongous box right here, I have the newest addition to my horror collection, and what I consider to be the greatest Freddy Krueger collectible ever produced. Since I can remember, I've always been a massive fan of A Nightmare on Elm Street and the icon that is Freddy Krueger, and I've always wanted to own some kind of life-size Freddy display piece in the horror collection. And believe me when I tell you that what I have inside this box is by far not only the best life-size Freddy Krueger on the market, but the best Freddy Krueger display piece you'll ever see. I've been following the work of 𝙄𝙉𝙎𝙏 at Suckface Studios for a couple of years now, and I've always admired the incredible work he does on sculpting and painting life-size prop replicas and producing life-size displays. Over the years, Darren has created one-to-one scale statues of the different incarnations of Freddy Krueger from various Nightmare on Elm Street movies, including the original Nightmare, to Freddy vs. Jason, to the Dream Master, and all the others in between. He's also made multiple Freddy arm displays such as the infamous needle finger hand from Dream Warriors. And putting his Freddy Krueger artworks to the side, he also creates collectibles based on many other beloved pop culture characters, such as these life-size Gizmo pieces, which I'm a massive fan of. Not only does Darren's Gizmo look like the screen used prop literally jumped right out of the screen, but it's so clever how he makes multiple face plates with different expressions that magnetically attach to the head. And Gizmo is now another collectible that's on my wish list. But coming back to Freddy, Darren is a true Nightmare on Elm Street aficionado, and he's extremely knowledgeable when it comes to the production of those movies, and also Freddy's many different makeup looks. He even owns a production made cast of Robert Englund's head that was created by makeup effects artist 𝙎𝙬𝙎𝙎𝙎 himself. And that's just one more reason why Darren's Freddy work is the best out there. He's very familiar with the real deal, and his life-size Freddy pieces have only gotten better and better with each one he produces. But what I have in this box is, without a doubt in my mind, the greatest life-size Freddy piece ever produced. And as you guys may know, I love movie prop replicas and life-size pieces, including one-to-one scale busts and statues. I have a few pieces like this in the collection already, including the Trick or Treat Studios Good Guy doll, the life-size Norris Spiderhead from The Thing, this Jack Torrance wall hanger made by the Evil Shed, and the NAG Studios Myers Mask display piece. And then the smaller prop replicas such as the NECA Freddy glove and the Silence of the Lambs Hannibal Lecter mask made by Fiberglass Masks, just to name a few. And you'll notice that most of these items are handmade by extremely talented artists. I've said it before and I'll say it again. It's these independent artists and fans who are truly crafting the best horror stuff on the market. And although a majority of these collectibles come with a more hefty price tag, if you're a collector, it's more than worth saving up or making an investment in these incredible works of art. Because for one, mass-produced items and products made by these big companies are never going to be as accurate or detailed. And second of all, you're also supporting independent artists and businesses, so it's a win-win. Also, there is a video on my channel showcasing prop replicas that I own in my collection, so make sure you check that one out. But it's safe to say that these kind of collectibles are the next level up when it comes to elevating a collection, as they make for absolutely insane display pieces and overall just look incredible. This new edition, however, is on a whole new level, and now the wait is finally over and I've acquired an absolute dream collectible. So for me, Christmas has definitely come early this year, and by extraordinary coincidence, today, November the 9th, 2024, actually marks 40 years to the day when the master of horror Wes Craven unleashed the original A Nightmare on Elm Street into theatres and introduced the world to one of horror's most beloved and enduring icons. So happy 40th birthday to Freddy Krueger and the Nightmare franchise. It was clearly meant to be that this piece arrived in time for the anniversary, and it's safe to say we're gonna celebrate in style. So as always, don't forget to slash that subscribe button and hit the notification bell so you don't miss out on any more future uploads. And without further ado, let's get this box open and take a look at the collectible of my dreams, or should I say nightmares. Now I have already opened this box up and taken a sneaky peek. The anticipation and excitement for this guy was just way too much. But Daz has packaged this piece very, very nicely and with plenty of protection, so I'm very thankful for that. So what I'm going to do is take out everything that's in this box piece by piece, and we're going to construct the life-size statue of the one and only Freddy Krueger. So first things first, Darren has included a section of sleeve from Freddy's iconic sweater, specifically the one that he has used on the life-size bust. And this is a really, really nice inclusion, and one that I wasn't expecting to get. So thank you very much for that, Daz. This gives me ideas of doing a bit of a DIY project and maybe create a Freddy arm display using this. Hopefully in the near future I can get my hands on a proper replica of the Freddy glove from Dream Warriors, and I think it will make for an extremely cool looking display piece next to the Freddy bust. It will be a very, very nice little touch to include Freddy's iconic glove in the entire display, and obviously the pattern of this sleeve is going to match the sweater that's already on Freddy, so that's perfect. Thank you again, Daz. And that's just reminded me, in the last video on this channel, the For the Love of Horror convention haul and vlog sort of thing, I actually showcased these two pieces that I picked up from the convention, and I got these from Darren when I saw him at his traders booth. And this is a set of Freddy teeth that are actually cast from the real prosthetics and are even mounted on a cast of Robert Englund's real teeth, which is just incredible. And this here is a miniature wall hanger which is scanned from Darren's production used plaster cast of the original Part 3 head sculpt done by makeup effects artist 𝙎𝙍𝙎𝙬𝙎. So this is just an awesome little piece. The reason I'm talking about these guys again is because Darren was going to throw these in with my Freddy bust, but since I saw him at the convention, he just gifted these to me there and then. And once again, I'm ridiculously thankful for these. It's an extremely kind thing to do, and just goes to show how nice of a bloke Darren is. So yeah, much appreciated. And now this is where things are going to start to get very exciting, as we have the hat that will go on top of the Freddy bust, and this thing is shaped so perfectly. It's exactly how I wanted it to be, and Daz has just nailed the look that I wanted. This is a good time to mention that these pieces are made to order, and Darren will change aspects of the order to suit your own customizations. For example, if you want the paint finish on your Freddy bust to be more sort of wet looking and slimy, especially when it comes to his Freddy's Revenge life-size display, then you can tell Darren exactly how you want it finished. And for me, I really wanted Freddy's hat to have this sort of slope or bow at the front of the hat, because I think that just adds so much character to the finished piece. I've seen behind the scenes photos of Robert wearing a fedora with a bow, and it creates this sort of sinister look, and I think it will cast a really cool shadow on the face of the finished display. And Darren has shaped this hat so perfectly. It's exactly how I imagined it in my head, so that's amazing. How do I look? I'm not exactly Harrison Ford, am I? Oh well. Okay, so next thing. And here is the stand that Freddy will be sitting on, and this thing looks really slick. It's a very nice wooden base, and as you can see, we've got this Nightmare on Elm Street Part 3 Dream Warriors logo, which is the incarnation of Freddy I've purchased from Darren. And this is another aspect of the piece that can be personalized. Having the logo on the front is optional. You can either have it or just have it as a blank black display base, and the height of the pole itself is also optional, so you can either have Freddy suspended above the base or have him sat flush against the bottom, the latter of which I personally went with. The stands also come in a couple of different sizes too, so it's safe to say that Darren offers a lot of customization options for all of us collectors, which is really cool. And now here's the big moment that we've all been waiting for, and the reveal of what I think is the best Freddy Krueger collectible in the world. So say hello to the newest edition of the horror collection, Freddy Krueger himself. And all I can really say is, holy shit. This is literally like having Robert Englund in the room. I am absolutely just blown away with this. And I've got to say, I think this might be the best Freddy piece that Darren has produced yet. I mean, he has seriously outdone himself here. Yep, I stand with what I said. This is easily the greatest life-size Freddy piece in history. Looking at this guy in person, I can't believe this. But there is absolutely no competition. I think this is also one of the greatest pickups I've ever made for the horror collection. Words just don't even describe it. I'm absolutely obsessed with this thing. Look at the eyes. So what I'm going to do is, I'm going to move all the stuff out the way, I'm going to put Freddy on the stand, and then we'll take a closer look at the Springwood Slasher himself in all of his glory. So here he is, the man of our dreams, Freddy Krueger. Now sat on the very slick display stand and wearing his signature fedora. Honestly, I think this guy just speaks for himself. I mean, look at this. I don't think there's any doubt about it that this is the best life-size Freddy piece out there, and also one of the best Nightmare on Elm Street collectibles on the market. The more I'm looking at this guy, it's just the more I fall in love with it, and the more intricate details that I notice. Like I said, it's like genuinely having Robert Englund in the room. This bust is just so lifelike, and it's sculpted to absolute perfection. Makeup effects legend 𝙆𝙊𝙎𝙎, who is the co-founder of the KNB Effects Group, along with Robert Kurtzman and Greg Nicotero, and has worked in the special effects department on a large number of horror classics and well-known productions, including A Nightmare on Elm Street Part 4, The Dream Master, actually attended the For the Love of Horror convention a couple of weeks back and told Darren in person that this is one of the best Freddy Krueger pieces he has ever seen. He was also amazed at how much of Robert you can see in the sculpt, and I can honestly say there are no more truer words. So I mean, besides Kevin Yeager, there isn't much more better you can get in terms of approval than that, and it only further proves how perfect and accurate this piece is. As I said before, the hat sits so perfectly on the bust, and that bow at the front really adds a lot of character. And when displaying a piece like this, I truly think it's all the little details, the embellishments, and the positioning of things that truly sell the finished display. I also think I'm going to tilt the hat down slightly to the side there, as I just love how it looks sat on the statue like that, and it gives that sort of ominous looking shadows on the face from the eyes up, which I love. Speaking of lighting, I have two small LED spotlights that I got from Amazon that I use to light up my Evil Dead 2 statue, and I'm thinking of picking up two more of these to add some special lighting to the bust, as lighting really adds a lot to pieces like this. It also gives them a more distinguished look, for the lack of better words, and when a light is pointed on this guy, you can really see that shiny and wet looking finish on top of the paintwork, and it looks phenomenal. It really adds to the realism and the overall piece. Speaking of realism, the eyes on this guy are absolutely crazy. The eyes on any life-size piece can really make or break how lifelike the piece looks, and these are once again the best I've ever seen. These eyeballs are made of resin and glass and have so much life in them and look so real. Shining a light into them further exposes the astonishing amount of detail here, especially within the irises, and Darren has even managed to add these extremely small vein details to the eyeballs, which is an incredible attention to detail. Every single burn and scar on Freddy's head is also perfectly placed and matches exactly what we see on screen, and the paint application again is just magnificent. I can't begin to imagine how much time, work and effort Darren must have put into the sculpting process of this to get it looking as good as it does. Oh, and I should mention that the teeth on the statue are also cast from the same screen use prosthetics from the movie's production, so that just adds to the detail and perfect accuracy of the statue. The knitted sweater is also of very nice quality and has been appropriately weathered, specifically around the neck to finish off the look. The bust is overall pretty lightweight too. In fact, it's way lighter than I actually expected him to be. So there's no worries of this guy weighing down any shelves or anything like that with breakages. Not like you would display this piece in a place where it could get potentially damaged, but with some shelving units, especially ones with glass shelves like this display cabinet for example, you have to be pretty cautious of the weight of objects, but you won't have much trouble with this guy because again he is pretty lightweight. I'm in absolute awe of this piece. Darren from Suckface Studios has not just hit it out the park, he's fucking obliterated it. Initially, I was actually between the Dream Warriors bust and his new Freddy's Revenge bust, which is also equally incredible, but I decided to go with this guy for a couple of reasons. For starters, even though Kevin Yeager's makeup design for Freddy's Revenge may be my all-time favourite look of the character, simply because of how mean he looks with the almost witchy facial features and the sunken eyes. Dream Warriors is where Yeager designed a makeup that has become the iconic look of Freddy Krueger. When people think of Freddy Krueger, it's likely that this is the image that they see. And the look of Freddy Krueger is one of the most iconic images in horror history, pop culture history even. And secondly, there's just something about this bust that screams Robert Englund's likeness. It's definitely the piece that is the most realistic and lifelike. And it's in all these small details, from the facial expression, the positioning of the eyes, and overall the phenomenal sculpt. As I said near the start of this video, it's extremely talented independent artists like Darren that really are producing the very best collectibles that we've ever seen. In terms of detailing, sculpting, paintwork, and more importantly, accuracy. It takes a fan-made piece like this that is handcrafted by an artist to really produce something special, which this is. So once again, thank you very much, Darren, for everything. And this guy right here is without question one of the greatest additions I've ever made to my horror collection. Truly the collectible of my nightmares. I'll leave a link in the description below so you guys can head over to Suckface Studios and check out Darren's work and contact him in regards to one of the greatest horror pieces currently on the collectibles market. Happy 40th anniversary to one of the all-time greatest horror movies, Wes Craven's A Nightmare on Elm Street. It's been the most perfect way to celebrate this anniversary, and it's not over yet. I have a big Freddy Krueger action figure video coming out next week for you guys, so make sure you slash that subscribe button if you have not done so already. Thank you so much guys for watching. Please leave a comment down below letting me know what you think about this guy. I hope you've enjoyed today's very special collection showcase video, and until next time, sweet dreams.